A very powerful radio telescope is being installed by the Raman Research Institute at Bangalore. If there is a God, we must look for him in the universe. If he is not there, he is not worth looking for, said the founder of the institute, Chandrasekhara Venkata Raman. C.V. Raman was born at Tiruchirappalli near Tiruchirappalli in Tamil Nadu on 7th November 1888 to Parvati Ammal. Chandrasekhar Iyer, his father, was a school teacher. Raman was the second of 8 children. This is the horoscope of Raman. But Raman did not believe in astrology. When Raman was just 3 years old, his father became a lecturer in the Avian College at Visakhapatnam. This is where they lived. While listening to his father's violin, the young Raman perhaps looked at the roaring sea and wondered, why is the sea blue? Why is the sky blue? The seeds of his future discovery were probably sown during these days of sea and sky watching. At the rather tender age of 13, Raman joined the Presidency College, Madras. Some of his teachers originally thought that he was a schoolboy who entered the college by mistake. The same teachers later praised his caliber profusely. In fact, they exempted him from attending the science classes because he was far ahead of his class. His first research paper, Unsymmetrical Diffraction Bands Due to a Rectangular Aperture. This was published in the London Philosophical Magazine in 1906. Lord Rayleigh, a pioneer on the subject on light, was highly impressed by Raman's research paper and wrote him this letter of appreciation. Raman stood first in the MA degree examinations from Madras University in 1906. The same year, he passed the Finance Service examination, topping the list. He married 13-year-old Lokasundari. Raman got the prestigious position of Assistant Accountant General at Calcutta at the age of 18. Within a week of his arrival, while traveling by tram, Raman noticed the board, the Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science. The association was founded in 1876 by Mahendralal Sarkar for the cultivation of science through original research. On his way back from office, Raman knocked at the door of the association at 210 Baobazar Street. Ashutosh Dey opened the door. Amritlal Sarkar, the secretary of the association, gave Raman the freedom to use the place for his scientific research. Raman worked at the association in the mornings before going to his office, and again in the evenings. On Sundays and holidays, he worked the whole day. Within a few years, he published a number of research papers on physics. Raman was transferred to Rangoon in 1909, but his love for science brought him back to Calcutta again in 1911. He took a house just behind the association so that he could devote more time to research. Though a finance officer, C.V. Raman had already become quite famous for his scientific research work. Sir Ashutosh Mukherjee, who had an uncanny eye for talent, offered Raman the Taraknath Palit Professorship at the Calcutta University. One of the requirements for appointment to the Palit chair was a foreign qualification. This Raman did not have. So, Sir Ashutosh changed the provision of the endowment in his favor. The finance department released one of their best men with great reluctance. During the early period of his Palit professorship, Raman did a lot of work on sound, particularly on musical instruments at the Science College of the University of Calcutta. He had written papers on harmonics of Indian musical instruments and acoustical knowledge of ancient Hindus. Raman explained by experiments the musical expertise of the ancient Hindus. Raman showed that the bridge of the Veena is so cleverly constructed that it produces innumerable harmonics, making it sound closest to the human voice. Raman became a world authority on sound and musical instruments. His work covered a wide variety of musical instruments, stringed, bowed, and membranes. Due to Raman's untiring work, the Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science became a very important center of scientific learning. Apart from being an exceptional scientist himself, he also produced a galaxy of brilliant scientists: Ramanatham, Bhagavantam, Venkateshwaran, Krishnan, Ganeshan, and others, all of whom greatly contributed to science in India. Deeply struck by the blue color of the Mediterranean, he began his research and later proved that the blueness of the sea is not due to the reflection of the sky, but due to the scattering of light by water. Then came the famous experiments that culminated in the discovery of a new radiation. Surprisingly, the experiment was carried out with simple instruments which cost a mere 200 rupees. On 29th February 1928, the announcement of the discovery was made. The whole world took note of this exciting discovery when Raman published it in the prestigious journal Nature. What is this new radiation? When light collides with molecules of matter, it mostly loses energy, but sometimes gains energy from the molecules and comes out with a higher energy. This is the new radiation, or the Raman effect. The thick lines are the incident radiation. The thin lines are the Raman lines, his discovery. The Raman radiation principle of excess energy can be explained thus. When a billiard ball hits another, it invariably loses energy. But occasionally, when it hits a moving ball, it may get additional energy. For this discovery, Raman was awarded the most coveted Nobel Prize for Physics on December 11, 1930. Innumerable awards were to follow: the Hughes Medal, the Franklin Medal, and many others, including the highest national award, the Bharat Ratna. The Raman effect opened up a new method to understand the structure of complex organic molecules. The discovery and developments of a lot of synthetic fibers, medicines, paints, and a host of other materials have been accelerated by the Raman effect. And all his work was initiated and carried out in India. He was invited to a number of countries to give talks on his discovery. Within a decade of its discovery, more than 1,000 research papers were published on the Raman effect throughout the world, many of them by his own students. In 1933, Raman became the director of the Indian Institute of Science at Bangalore. Here he conducted a series of experiments on crystals, particularly on a variety of diamonds. Due to misunderstandings with the management, Raman resigned his directorship of the Indian Institute of Science. However, he stayed on working as a professor of physics for another decade. He founded the Indian Academy of Sciences in 1934 and remained its president for his lifetime. The Academy became a center for the dissemination of scientific knowledge throughout the world. Annual meetings of the Academy were held at various university towns. A lucid writer, Raman was also a popular speaker. He started his own institute, the Raman Research Institute, located on a piece of land donated by the Maharaja of Mysore. Here he worked for the rest of his life without any interference. There was always a constant flux of visitors to the Raman Institute: scientists, laymen, and admirers. Raman said, "If we can train our children well, we can conquer the world." Here is a man who had an intense love for nature, backed by an unquenchable thirst for questioning. Raman loved colors, and he had a fascination for them, particularly colors in minerals, flowers, shells, birds, and butterflies. had a fantastic collection of diamonds and precious stones. He was stubbornly against people going abroad for science studies. He said before his death, "My life has been an utter failure. I thought I would try to build true science in this country, but all we have is a legion of camp followers of the West." November 21st, 1970. A true colossus fades away into history. Professor C.V. Raman is no more, but his original research in physics and his dedication to science will continue to inspire generations of scientists from all parts of the world.